AI in music, is it a threat to all of our livelihoods? What do you think?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Who knows in the future what could happen? I personally, I'm of the opinion that if you can't beat them, join them. So I'm not in competition with AI. I use AI to assist me.
In what way?
In what way? Okay. So for example, you wouldn't really call this AI, but I'll tell you what, yeah, we'll take the plugin Pure Unmask.
Is that AI though?
I'd say it is because it's analysing your sound and it's coming up with an EQ curve in relation to what it's analysing. I mean, I'd say it is. I'd say all the sonable things are AI. You look at the smart EQ.
I think they're more machine learning rather than AI though.
Well, I don't know really. Yeah, I mean, there's different levels of AI, I suppose.
Is machine learning AI?
I would say it's a form of AI. Yeah, I would say it's a form of AI, definitely. So let's call them AI for now. You know. So for example, limiting, smart limit. I think that's fantastic. I'm not against that at all. So when I've mixed and I've mastered the track,
I don't even consider sonable plugins as AI.
Do you not?
I don't really.
What
think
about their
of them.
EQ though?
Yeah, but if you're hitting the AI assistant button to then.
Oh, I am.
Oh, right, okay.
I am. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I absolutely am. Yeah. So I don't use their actual EQ. Is it called Smart EQ 4?
Yeah.
I've tried it. Very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Very.
Well, this is the problem with AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it's hit and miss.
It is.
And it can't be trusted.
Yeah.
To make the right decisions every time. It just doesn't. Because the thing with it is music. No music's the same.
No.
Like no two songs are identical in exactly the same process. How many times have you mastered a song and it's required the exact same master that you had for another song?
You know, it doesn't. But let's take Ozone 11 for example, which is the latest Ozone. What it does is it analyzes your mix.
Right. So why, when you use Ozone 11, does it give you the same EQ curve multiple times? Now, if you
doesn't.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah. If you look at it, it'll give you the same EQ curve. The EQ curve could go like that, right? And then you could analyze another song. The EQ curve would be the same.
Every time?
Not every time. It will change. But it's a selection of EQ curves. It's not like it's going, here's an EQ curve that is for specifically the perfect EQ curve for that song.
But surely, if you intentionally, you put a master through it where you've purposely put the bass
right. So here's the thing.
Surely it's going to compensate the bass.
Right. So here's the thing. Right. Yeah. Let's say, for argument's sake, you ran Ozone 11. You clicked AI and you got the EQ curve, right? So here's the EQ curve.
Yeah.
Now that EQ curve's set. So now if you then recorded through that, or you ran another Ozone 11 after that, run the EQ curve, what would happen? It should be flat.
Yes, it should, yeah.
But it's not.
No, true.
It will print you the same EQ curve.
I don't know about the same.
Try it.
Well, I won't try it now, in case you're right. But, but I would imagine...
By definition there, it's wrong.
Yeah.
If it's delivering you the same EQ curve...
No, you're right, it should be flat. However, I doubt it would be the same one. I think it will be a different one.
It would be identical.
Would it really?
Yeah, after this video, I'll show you.
Okay. Because there's one thing with Ozone 11 that I sometimes do. And again, remember I said to you just a minute ago that I like to use it to assist me. Don't know what that was. There's just a ghost in the studio. It's the AI. It's the AI ghost. One thing I do is this. So once I've mixed and I've mastered a track, sometimes I'll get my master and I'll run my master through something like Ozone 11.
Yep.
And I'll see if it automatically improves it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then what I might do, if it's improved it a little bit, I might just use a tiny percentage of that Ozone 11.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're still creating the sound going into it. You're still creating. I think where the problem with AI mastering what we have with AI mastering as a problem is people who think that clicking AI and it going, here's an AI master, and they go, yep, because that is a massive, massive difference.
Agreed. I do agree, and obviously I'm going to agree.
Like
as
a
well.
laughable difference.
No, I agree, and obviously I do mastering, and I agree with you. However, I must say, out of all the assistants, including Ozone 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I must say, if you're incapable of mastering, and you do want to just get a master done automatically, right? Let's say you're doing dance music, for example, and you've mixed something, and it's a reasonably good mix. If you do just do a one button press and you let Ozone 11 master your track for you, and you make sure that let's say the genre is EDM, you just got to make sure, sometimes it gets that wrong. Let's say you might have to put it to EDM in case it puts it as rock or something. Usually it gets it right. So I must say, out of all of the assistants, that's by far the superior one.
It isn't bad.
And absolutely, you can get away with putting something out.
So what happens? Now, what happens to the settings if you change from EDM to, let's say, country or something classical?
So if you do that, usually it will be less bass on the EQ, less treble.
So then it's wrong. By definition, it's wrong. If it can change based on genre, it's not right.
Yeah, because then it's not based on your mix. However, usually it gets the genre right. It knows.
Yeah, but even if it gets the genre right, it shouldn't be making changes based on the genre. It should be making changes based on the song, which is what an engineer does.
Yeah, but it does in the first place. It's listening to your song for sure.
But why does it get it wrong so many times?
It's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting people use that.
Yeah.
Because I know that you and I do a far better job than that does. But what I'm saying is, for someone who's not trained at all, like, they can maybe mix, but they can't master, it's the best of a bad bunch, and it's not half bad. It's really not. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried it.
Yeah.
Like
I've done multiple tests against it, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near accurate.
And
it's nowhere near.
Then again, who's to say what's accurate? Is that not subjective?
Yeah, but it's totally down to guesswork. And it's if you don't know what you're doing with mastering, and you're letting AI guess how your song should sound, and it's wrong, you don't know whether it's wrong. You just
surely
assume.
You can hear.
Yeah, but if you're saying it's someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
No, but sometimes, like even me, many years back, I could hear what I wanted in a master, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't achieve it. Does that make sense? So in other words, let's say, for example, I was mastering a track in the genre of dance, and there was, like, let's say house particularly, and I wanted it to sound similar to another house track, a commercial house track that's a million seller house track. I know in my head I wanted it to sound like that, but let's say I couldn't physically, I couldn't get it to sound like it at all. It's too squashed or too over EQ'd or something. I can hear at least whether AI has got it right or not. And in my opinion, you can get very, very close. I think if you had a lousy mix, really lousy mix, it might have a more difficult time. I've not tried it, but it's not bad considering. I think it's a bit scary to the point where in the future, it could be amazing.
Get really good.
Yeah, there's also mixing. Again, I've tried that as well. I think it's Neutron that I've used.
But see, I don't even think of that as like AI. I don't know.
I'd say it is.
With mixing, I just think that is something that AI shouldn't take over. And that's not because I'm a mixing engineer, but I know how technical it is to mix tracks. And letting AI is all guesswork because all you're doing is feeding it frequencies. I guess
it's not all guesswork.
It's very much guesswork.
No, it's not, because you're feeding, like you said, you're feeding it a frequency and it boosts it or it cuts
AI
it.
it's not physically listening to it in the same way. It has no emotion.
No, it has no emotion, but
it has no ability to kind of read the emotion of the song, how it should sound, and then print that to the master. It
All
can't.
right.
It can't analyze that.
Let me ask you a question then. So what I know for a fact, and you can't deny this because I've been in your studio multiple times, I know that one thing you have up on one of your monitors is it's made by Sonable as well.
True Balance.
True Balance, and you've got this curve which goes something like that.
Yeah.
And I know that visually, I know you don't rely on it.
So
I told you about this plugin actually.
But that I haven't got that at the moment. I've not been using that for a long time. But that was just a visual aid, not to then target for it, but to gain somewhat of a recommendation that then you could look at whilst working to see if a change in that frequency would be beneficial. Often,
Yeah.
probably half the times, highly it wasn't beneficial.
Okay.
And it shouldn't have been looked at. It shouldn't have been analysed.
But the point is, you've had it up there for a long time that I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
but it's still, like I say, it's a 50-50. And this is the thing is, it's a 50-50 whether it's good or whether it's bad. But this is me coming from someone who understands what they're doing. I know whether it's good or bad. The majority of people that are using AI don't know what's good, don't know what's bad. So they're just going, okay, I trust AI. And my issue with things like AI, especially in mastering, is you put so much hard work into getting to that stage where you are at the mastering stage, to then trust and put the last cherry on top with something so bad.
Yeah.
And the end result is I have never run an AI master and gone, wow, that sounds incredible. I've run one, I've run some, and I've gone, it's passable, but here's how it should have sounded.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is if you're always if you want to achieve the best end results, AI is not the answer.
No.
It's as of 2025, AI is not the answer. 10 years' time, it might be really, really good. And we might all be sitting here going, well, AI's
Taken over.
the kind of industry standard now. And it's really very, very good.
I mean, where I was going, though, with that curve thing, because you said, how can it know? How can AI know? So what I'm saying is you're using that as a guide. So AI is listening to what your mix is and trying to achieve that curve.
Yeah.
Hence the genre.
Of course.
So it's not completely
But then
guesswork.
who's to say that that's the curve it should be creating for that particular song?
Because that's a curve of many genres that have been hits in that many tracks that have been hits in that genre.
But your track, it's like saying EDM.
Yeah.
All should be mastered the same, and it shouldn't, because every song in EDM is different. Every classical song, totally different.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
and it requires a different treatment on each one.
It does, but I do get that. You want to cover all frequencies to a certain degree, and you can generalize. Like white noise, doesn't that cover all frequencies? Doesn't it?
Right. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So when you're running an AI master and you've got a real thumping kick drum, and you want that thumping kick drum, and then it literally, the EQ curve is rolling off that kick drum ridiculously, to the point where, now I ain't got that thumping kick drum that I wanted.
That's why you analyze only the loudest part, though.
Yeah,
so
but
you
then
analyze
even the loudest part has this thumping kick drum.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So you analyze that, and then it knows not to do anything. It freezes on that. So with AI, like Ozone, as you know, you analyze like the chorus or the drop.
Yeah.
But you don't reanalyze it on the part where you've got the filtered down kick drum.
No. That's what not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the chorus.
Yeah.
If you've got this kick drum that's hitting, and that's intentional, you want that.
Yeah.
Right. When you then look at the curve in the EQ, it rolls it all the way off.
Really?
Yeah.
What, to the point where it's not?
Well, to the point where it's no longer that nice thumping kick drum that you want.
But then you can always change it. It's only a guide.
Of course.
It's only a guide.
But what I'm saying is it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally wrong in what it's analysing, and to generalise every song as they're to generalize a genre like EDM as EDM. AI shouldn't be generalizing, because drum and bass, totally different master to let's say a house track. Like you got a I don't know, like tropical house, nice, a little bit slower, a little bit more tropical, hard hitting Nero drum and bass track. They're not the same song.
No.
They're far from the same song. To generalize it as this one EDM and then go, oh, here's what it should kind of sound like. And the majority of the things that AI is putting into the master, and one good thing with like Ozone is you can deselect.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if you look at the impact on it, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It sucks the life out of the tracks.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
So just literally turn it off.
Yeah.
But when you go to, I don't know, one of these like SoundCloud AI mastering, and people are releasing their songs, and it's just like, SoundCloud master, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So it sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it can do. It is hit or miss. It's certainly the online one. What about going to what about production AI assistants such as like Suno, for example? I don't know if you've ever used that at all.
I think I haven't personally used it for the purpose of production, but I hear a lot of people how they're using it is they're using it to get ideas and then building off of those ideas.
Yeah.
Which I can understand, and you know, there will be a lot of people who are producers and will totally dismiss that sort of program as like, you know, that's cheating, which it is in many ways. But I've known people to produce the underlying track and then add on top of it.
Yeah.
And even that, I think I don't agree with it. I don't think it's.
You think it's cheating?
I do think it's cheating. So, I don't think that's how music. We live in a world. Here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
We live in a world where music, everybody's doing music. It's massively oversaturated as a market, right? And this just oversaturates it more.
Yeah, it
the
does.
Majority of I think I read the other day, I think it was something like 70% of the people on the internet are bots, something around that number. And I believe that. There's a lot of bots that are just running around the internet, causing havoc, basically.
Yeah.
And that's similar to what essentially AI is. It's filling streaming platforms with diluted rubbish. And there's already too much diluted rubbish on there to actually find something good. So now you've got to kind of go, okay, now if I want to find a good song, I've got to search through all the AI rubbish.
Yeah.
And I've now also got to search through all the genuine rubbish to find that needle in a haystack.
I mean, I've got to say, I've actually lost a client, true story, last week to AI. So this client used me for everything: production, vocal recording, mixing, mastering, everything. He's also a friend of mine. And he's been struggling with money lately.
And this,
So, but guess what? He's used Suno, and he's now getting Suno to produce all his tracks for the way he
wants. He's vocaling over the top.
Well, he's vocaling over the top, but it's not his voice.
Oh, really? So he's even doing.
It's changing his voice.
God.
Making him sound brilliant, amazing. It sounds fine anyway, but even better.
Yeah.
It's doing all the tuning. It's doing all the production, all the mixing, and all the mastering. And for the purposes of what he does, what he uses it for, it's okay. And I said to him, I was joking. I was on a Zoom with him last week. And I said, you're never going to use me again, are you now? And I thought it was going to say, of course I am. And he was like, nah, probably not. Not because, listen, what I do is much better than that.
Yeah, but it's cost.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
That is free for him. And he played me some of the stuff. Now, one of the things he played me, the production was quite impressive. I'll be honest with you, it was good. The mix sonically, it wasn't good. I could hear it. It sounded like a very bad quality MP3.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. But while he was on Zoom to me, I said, all right. I said, get it to do something now, because he said it takes seconds. It's Suno. So he goes, all right, what genre? I said, all right, house. I think I said 126 BPM. I said, make it piano house. Tell it to add synths, that kind of thing, just as an instrumental. Honestly, he typed that in, I think within 5 to 10 seconds, it had done it, and he sent it to me. Again, I would have done it better for sure, both the production and the mix and the mastering.
It would have taken you a few days.
Yeah, it would have taken me longer, that's for sure. But it was for the purposes of what he does. He does shows and things, and it's sort of like background music. It's perfect. It's fine. So it's quite
Doesn't
interesting.
That make you sad?
What can I do? I don't get sad about things that I have no control over. I mean,
well, the thing is AI, technically speaking, possibly could have learned off of one of your songs or the songs that you've produced to create that song. Yeah,
possibly. But again, there's good and bad. There's good and bad in the internet. There's the dark web, and there's things that you could learn from it. Can I tell you something that I've done in the past that's been phenomenal? So I've worked with singers. It's quite many times, actually. I've worked with singers in the last few months where their singing voice is okay, but it's not ideal for what we were doing. So let's say, for example, I do a lot of K-pop tracks and for a lot of boy bands, and I've worked with vocalists who have sang, and they've got amazing voices, but they sound too much like men. Let's take, for example, Teddy Swims, for example. Do you know him? So he's got a very manly, powerful voice, incredible voice.
Yeah. But he does for K-pop.
No, because you want to sound like a teenager.
Yeah.
And someone like Teddy Swims couldn't do that. Adele.
Yeah.
If you want to do it like a teenage girly pop K-pop band, you wouldn't use Adele. She's incredible, but she sounds like a woman. She is. So what have I done recently? I've actually used an AI. I can't remember which company it was, but I've subscribed. It's only about £12 a month, something like that. And I've got these singers, and I've chosen the voice. So in the thing of a K-pop band, I've chosen like a boy band, and it's incredible. I mean, that is really incredible. And I've got K-pop cuts recently, where I've done exactly that.
But then they go on to
be resung. Yeah, they were demos.
Yeah,
but 1,000,000%. Well, not 1,000,000%, but in my opinion, that same song and that same production, if I'd left it as the voice that it
wouldn't
was,
have picked it up.
I don't think so, because I don't think people hear through it.
See, I can get on board with that.
Yeah,
that I can get on board with.
Yeah,
because the thing with that is you're using a tool to your advantage.
Likewise, go on, carry on. Sorry,
but you're using that as a tool to your advantage to get the work. It's not like you're pitching it with that vocal. That vocal's now stripped off and it's used as a reference only. I can be on board with that. That's fine.
Are you on board with this?
Probably not.
Probably not. So another thing I did about 3-4 months ago, I think it was, I had a guy in here, a vocalist, and we produced a track together, and it needed a female vocalist, and we didn't have one. So I used AI to turn him into a woman. I don't mean literally, just his voice. And it sounded so good that a major record label, have signed it. They've not even with that voice, and they've not asked who the singer is yet. And I don't know whether to tell them or not.
Well,
but it will be released like that. It's a dance track. Why is that bad?
Well, it's probably bad for the record label.
Why?
I would say, because if the record label put it out, like let's say for argument's sake, record label put it out, it's a big hit, right? Who's a singer? Let's get her doing some PAs.
So we get someone to mime it. My first top 10 hit in the UK. There was no such thing as AI then that I know of. The singer that went on Top of the Pops and TV and everywhere wasn't her. It was a model.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do it, and we got a model in. So is it any different? All record labels care about is making money. They don't care if it's AI.
No, it's true. Yeah, sad but true.
I've got another friend who makes a lot of money doing library music. Even him recently has been using AI to make his tracks for him, because he says the amount of money he pays for the AI, it does so many tracks for him that it will take a lot shorter time than what he does himself. It's worth it paying for each track. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
All
of this just makes me sad.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It does. It disheartens me.
Another thing, I'll be honest with you here. I'm a very open, honest person. A few times, even I think last week it was, I was with someone in the studio, and we were writing together, and we were had a little bit of a writer's block. So guess what I did? I went to ChatGPT. I said, please write me some lyrics about blah, 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 in the style of blah, blah, blah. They weren't all good. Some were terrible, but they inspired us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Them.
All that sort of stuff. I find that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing.
But quite a lot of them inspired us, to be quite.
Yeah,
to be honest.
That's. I don't. Yeah. I'm not against that. That's using it to your advantage. Same with the thing with the K-pop. That's using it to your advantage.
But what if the lyrics you're using, you're literally they've written them for you? The AI, is that bad?
I don't know if that's too bad, because you've still got to put creativity into actually how they're delivered. So it's not too bad.
But is that any worse or any better rather than it writing the music for you? Let's say AI did the music for you and you did your own lyrics. Aren't they both bad or both good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a little bit against AI taking jobs from musicians, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So getting someone to write, taking a writer's job as such.
Sure. Yeah.
Things like that. I just it's hard enough for people in the music industry to make money, and if AI is going to replace lots of people, like, what does the music industry look like in 10, 15 years?
Yeah, no, I agree. Music is about
rubbish
coming from the soul,
Yeah, and that's what I don't think you get with. There's no emotion.
Yeah.
In AI, that's one thing, and how like majority of the songs that you can remember and you can say that you really enjoy and you love the songs, it's because they struck a chord with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think AI is ever going to strike a chord.
Never say never, though. That's what I would say. Never say never, because I think it could. I think it could. Yeah. I think it's slowly getting there. I mean, one brilliant thing in to do with music and AI was, I think it was last year, I did a single, a Christmas single. I think you know the one, actually. Not I did one this year as well, but this is last year. And the record contract, when I was sent it, it was done by AI. The guy didn't have to get a lawyer. It looked like an amazing. He just said, draw up a contract. Just told it a few things.
But then again, like with that, right?
Yeah.
So with that, AI is going to draw up a contract. Now, you didn't get a lawyer in. Now, what if there is a loophole in that?
Well,
this is the thing with AI. All AI is a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah, it can be.
So something as serious as a contract.
Yeah.
And then you're signing it. Yeah. And it might seem all good for you.
Yeah.
It's like you could sit there and get that contract and run that through AI and go, is this contract, should I sign this contract? And AI just goes, yeah, that seems all okay.
Yeah.
Taking into account nothing that is personal to you.
Yeah.
And then if you were to get an actual lawyer in, and all this comes down to is cheaper.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. Like, why didn't he get a lawyer in to write it? Because that would have cost him £1,000.
But it could be better. It's like saying, if you're an airline pilot, should you use autopilot? It could be more reliable than human beings, because there's always human error. So I think
So-
AI can be more reliable in certain aspects. But one thing I do agree with you is that, it would be a shame if the music business started to rely solely, or even the majority of it to rely on AI. That would be a shame, because music comes from here, comes from the heart.
Definitely. I do think that will get lost. I do
Yeah.
think that will be something that we're going to really, really miss. And the fact as well, as I said before, like just the sheer amount of music that can just be pumped out non-stop
Yeah.
makes there's a ridiculous amount of absolute rubbish.
Yeah, there is.
Because AI will churn out majority rubbish.
Yeah, true.
And it dilutes. One thing that is beneficial for us is that the people who are working with us, doing mixing, mastering, instantly have a superior sound to anything AI can ever. If it's production, something that's been produced from the heart is going to be instantly better than anything that's produced using Suno. Anything that's mixed properly by an engineer using good analog gear and things like that, even plugins, whatever, it's going to sound better than anything AI could ever produce.
Depending on the producer and the engineer, but a professional.
Yeah. And then the mastering, same again. And it's like it's really annoying, because we're going to get to a point where there's just going to be a mass amount of AI music that's going to dominate
The charts.
Well, not necessarily dominate the charts, but we're going to have a mass amount of music that's going to dominate streaming platforms. And I think streaming platforms almost have a duty to themselves to not want AI on their platforms, because it dilutes it with absolute rubbish.
I mean, certainly, when you go to like lifts, lift music, they call it Muzak, or doctor's surgery, like a waiting room, or a dental surgery. I think a lot of that will end up being AI for sure.
Yeah.
Because think about it, those doctors and dentists, why would they pay musicians and producers excuse me, when they can simply
you just buy you'd license that from a library
music,
So
but what if they could, if it got so easy that they could almost do that themselves with AI? They would. One button, write me 10 tracks for my waiting room. They would do it. But I agree. I think, like I said at the beginning of this discussion, if you can't beat them, join them. So we need to be positive and look at the positives and use AI to assist us. But yes,
I agree with that, because you're not. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
It's not going away.
No.
And it never will.
No.
I think in some ways it can be good and it can be highly beneficial. But in other ways, it can be very negative.
Yeah.
And this is one reason I really like Dolby Atmos, because AI can't do that.
Not yet. I mean, why wouldn't it be able to? Think about it. Like,
How would it?
I think you eat quite easily. So you feed it stems.
Yeah, but
and it positions where it thinks.
Imagine how that's going to sound.
I mean, well, there's certain rules, like don't put the bass at the back, for example, or be careful with vocals, like where you put in stuff, because it won't sound natural. Probably AI could learn that.
I think that will sound horrendous.
I mean, now it probably
I hope it doesn't learn it from me.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think one day there'll be a program, an AI program. I don't think it's far off, to be honest. And if I was a plugin maker, I'd probably try and make it if I could, because I think it would make money. There'll be one day a thing for producers who've got no idea how to mix, and they've got no interest in mixing. For them, it's just a chore. That they're creative in the production process. There'll be something where you press one button, and in that door, it's a plugin. It literally mixes everything for you, but with the touch of one button. I don't believe that exists at the moment, but it probably will. It probably will. Now, I've used AI to mix my tracks just for a laugh, mostly Neutron and the Sonable plugins, and it's done an all right job. Definitely not as good as I can do, because I did it again after, and I much improved it. But yeah. Watch this space. Unfortunately, I think it's something that will happen.
I think to end this, I do think there will be some sort of something in place going forward where you'll have to declare whether AI has assisted
Really?
in the process.
Okay.
And if it has, you'll get marked down by the algorithm, or you'll get put into your own category. And then you'll just have, these are the human stuff, this is the AI stuff.
Yeah, but how will it know if you're being truthful? It won't necessarily know.
No.
Do you know how many people do their homework, kids, and they use an AI? Yes, there is software to try to determine whether they've cheated or not.
Yeah.
But you can get
so
away
it is
with it.
cheating.
Well, if you're going to get it to do your homework, it is, but that's different. That's different.
Yeah.
If you're going to get it to write your essay, that's different. So I get what you're saying, but whether that could really, because then you can get AI to make it look like you haven't used AI. Does that make sense? Well, I don't know if you can, but that's, you can go on forever.
Blimey, it's we're going to go through we're going to go through an interesting time over the next, I'd say, even 10 years. It's going to be very interesting. I think what everybody needs to do who's in the music industry, if you're sensible, you'll watch, you'll analyze, and you'll realize what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's currently what I'm doing. I'm watching, analyzing, and if you see me doing something, it's probably because I think that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully.
It's just lucky we're doing what we do now. I feel a bit sorry for our kids. Certainly two of my kids are going into music. They've got into music. I just hope it doesn't affect them too negatively in their lifetime. I think I'll be all right. Well, saying that.
Oh, you've gone through the golden
I think
years.
So. Yeah.
You know, getting 30, 40 grand advances.
Yeah.
That's unheard of now.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I've been lucky. So it's only downhill from now.
Let's end it there.
Yeah, okay. All right, brilliant. Well, nice to talk to you. Brilliant. Cool.
That was a really depressing...
Yeah, I know.